everybody. Welcome back to Bottles and Bottles, the uncut, unfiltered, unprepared podcast where we talk a little bit about whiskey and a lot about the journeys of becoming a first-time dad. I'm here with the usuals. Welcome back to the Thunderdome, Bill and Adam. We're going to be talking about today the basics to prepare for pregnancy. And Bill had a not funny comment, but will you say what you had just said to me previously?
Yeah. So I know we say the journey to becoming a first-time dad, but a second-time dad, a third-time dad, it's a new journey every single time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd just like to point that out.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Every pregnancy is different, and every kid is different.
Right.
It's all different. It's a new experience every single time.
And this doesn't necessarily have to be singled out to the dads either. It's just
right.
If we had a tagline that was to the dad, the first-time dads, the first-time moms, the second-time dads, the tagline would be ridiculous.
Go on forever.
So we're just going to kind of go with becoming a first-time dad.
I'm very okay with that.
Okay. But good point, because I think even parents who have a child, obviously because they're parents, but they can benefit from some of this information.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they just wung it. They just said, well, this is their first kid. We're just going to go along with the flow. Maybe they didn't absorb a lot of the information that was given the first go round. So at any rate, let's dig into the basics to prepare for pregnancy. Obviously, we're going to uncork it with Adam here, who was our guest of honor, bringing the whiskey this evening. We've been together for quite a while today. We've already had a few drinks in us. So tell us a little bit about this 1792 that we're sipping on.
Thanks, Greener.
Just like everything that we have here, uncut, unfiltered, unprepared, I certainly am unprepared with knowing the information on this one. Interesting story behind this. 1792 is something that I always watch my dad drink. And in the recent years, you really haven't seen it on the shelves. And I luckily kind of stumbled upon this bottle.
Yeah.
Snatched it up off the shelf, only $30. I'm like, man, this would be a good one. Kind of, some memories of dad being out on the patio.
Right.
And, anyways, so this is a Barton 1792.
What does Barton mean?
Barton would be the distillery. That makes this. So it's Barton 1792 Distillery in Bardstown, Kentucky.
Oh, okay.
Casks are New American Oak. The proof is a 93.7.
Right in your wheelhouse.
So it's a little less than that stag you brought last
week.
time.
Oh
Yeah, I know.
gosh.
I'm like 100 proof limit typically.
Yeah.
I don't have the same palate that you guys do. So that makes it a 46.8.5% ABV.
Okay.
It's only aged at least 2 years from what it's telling me.
All right.
Okay.
It's won a few awards. Silver 2019 San Francisco World Spirit, Gold 2019 Los Angeles International Spirits Comp, and 3 double gold medals in World Spirits Competition.
It's good.
Yeah.
I've had a couple sips of it.
Yep. So it's a high rye. Kind of goes towards my taste. I'm a big rye fan.
Adam loves rye.
Yep. And a bold, spicy high rye straight bourbon.
It's definitely spicy. I get like a spicy caramel. Like I
Yeah.
said, we're not whiskey sommeliers, but
No.
I'm definitely pulling a little bit from liquor.com. Trying to get some information on the
that's
background.
totally fine.
Yep. They say that it has a little bit of vanilla finish.
Yeah.
And
Most bourbons, I feel like, do.
one of the interesting things that I was reading about it was it's a little bit brash, but it's more old school.
I don't think so.
In whiskey.
Of course,
flavor.
we've been drinking all day, so I have no...
Yeah, well, I mean, when we get together, we tend to do that.
Okay.
But that's some details in 1792.
And this is the
small batch.
small batch.
Which
Got
I know
it.
you, I think, have the bottled and bond.
I have bottled and bond and full proof, which
Okay.
we'll bust out another time.
Okay.
For sure.
Perfect.
I've had both of those. They're both very good. But I had never had the small batch. So I was glad when I stumbled across this one and wanted to share with you guys. So
Yeah.
enjoy.
Super cool.
Oh, thank you.
All right, great. So that's our little whiskey kickoff here. Let's dig into the topic, really the basics to preparing. And I think this is kind of something that really kicked off what we were talking about with this podcast. Because again, within the first few episodes, I had talked about okay, Morgan told me I'm pregnant, right? Or she's pregnant. But
Yep.
then it's okay, great. this is super exciting, but what can I do now? There's no baby here. I can't rock a baby back to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So what do I do? So I kind of had a conversation with her last night and just said, hey, I know we're, around that 20-week area right now, which we are. We're just coming up on the 20-week point. And I said, what can I do or what could I have done better maybe in the past that would have made your life easier? Because I think that's what it's all about. Obviously, there's no baby here. There's nothing I can do for a baby.
Right. In 20 weeks, you could know the gender. I just want to make sure you guys still aren't finding out the gender.
We're still not going to find out the gender. We are locked in on that.
Okay.
We don't know boy, girl.
I'll keep checking up on it.
And
Alligator
you're just going to find out in the delivery room.
In the delivery room.
Okay.
I'm going to scream it like I'm shouting from the mountaintops.
Love
You're
it.
going to hear me from 20 miles away, and you're going to go, oh, it's a horse.
So
He's right.
Who's getting the phone call when you guys go?
Boy.
I guess it's still strange because I don't know if visitors are allowed. It's still strange.
Oh,
at the
because
hospitals.
COVID protocol and all
it's
that.
Still protocols.
Okay.
I'm
Right.
not sure where
Because you
things will
went
be
through.
at.
Did you have one?
I had one January 20, which everyone was at the hospital.
Okay.
So
And that was like everything shut down.
Everything shut down.
Yeah.
So everyone was able to be there. Everyone
Okay.
came in the delivery room after Lindsay gave birth. And
God,
then
I want to know what that situation was
and
like.
then I had one in
That's going to
We'll
be
get
a whole,
into it.
That's going to be a whole episode of
I have so
in the
many
birth
questions.
room.
Yes.
That'll probably be like a 3-episode segment of in the birthing
that'll
room.
be a big one.
Okay. All right.
So let's get back into it here with kind of the prep. Again, there's no baby here. I can't rock anything back to sleep. I can't give it a bottle. I can't change any diapers.
Mhm.
Yep.
What can I do at this point? And when I talked to Morgan, she said, honestly, the first part of it is kind of what we had talked about in the past is, hey, if you're not excited, I don't know what to tell you. It's one of those things it's going to be scary for sure, but I think there's always probably going to be some sort of excitement level when you're bringing a child into the world.
You gotta.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I would think so, right?
No, absolutely.
Yeah. And she said that was like one of the best things that I did within the first few weeks of her telling me was she knew she had my support because I just kept every morning she'd wake up. How are you feeling? How are you doing? She still hasn't had any kind of morning sickness or anything like that.
Good for her.
Let's all knock on wood for
Yeah.
that one. Thank you.
Gladly.
And so I think that was a big part to her was just her knowing that I'm on board and I'm here to help. And every morning she wakes up, how are you feeling? What can I do for you? That kind of stuff. And she's like, that's all I need. I just need that kind of thing. And
That support.
she's gotten, you need to be that rock, you need to be the rock, not.
Do you notice that change at all in your relationship? Like from knowing she's pregnant, is it a practice that you had kind of had on the daily? Or is this something that kind of kicked in a little bit more when you
That's
knew
a
it?
super great question.
Right.
Yeah, I think it did. I think we kind of got stuck into our routine. I wish she was here to vocalize this, but I think it's easy, especially after being married for a certain amount of time, living in the same house, doing the same jobs over and over and over.
Yep.
It just kind of gives you that mindfulness of like, man, I need to check on her the second she wakes up because I want to make sure she's feeling okay. I want to make sure that I'm doing everything I can. And honestly, she told me, she's like, you've been great because anytime I felt anxious about it, you always know that there's a way to calm me down. And I think we should talk about some of the anxieties that come along with that maybe in the second part of this, episode.
Maybe to kind of keep me in the know here.
For sure.
I don't have any of this information. What's something that, is kind of like a softball of, what has she got nervous about?
Let's dig into it now. So go ahead, Bill.
Delivering a baby.
Delivering a baby
Just the anticipation of it.
Number one.
It's holy smokes, how am I going to get this thing?
Yeah.
It's a watermelon. There's a watermelon in my kitchen right now, right?
I was eyeing that thing up when I was on my way in.
Can you imagine that coming out of
Think 10
an
centimeters.
orifice of your body?
4 inches.
That is a large watermelon.
That watermelon's pretty big. I hope it's not that big. But
it's just absolutely amazing.
So I would say that's the number one anxiety. And the good thing about Morgan is she has seen it so many times with her job being a labor and delivery nurse. She kind of knows going into it what to expect. And
whether it goes perfectly or if there's complications.
Right. And look, we don't know. Nobody knows. You could have the healthiest human in the world and they go in and maybe they need a C-section. Maybe there's an emergency. Things tear. stuff like that happens. And do you know what I mean by when things tear? Because you're looking at me with a blank face.
I've asked some questions on when I've heard this before.
Okay.
And I understand there are some unique things that happen when you give birth.
Correct. Okay. Is that as far you want to dig right now?
We'll get
Yeah,
down. We'll get
my
down there
reasoning
later,
is,
I'm sure.
I just want to kind of call some things out, not
Sure.
only for me, but for obviously the
Okay.
friends that we have that are listening
Of
in
course.
right now. I don't want to kind of keep it ambiguous and like have them come
Yeah.
back of here's kind of a list of things that kind of come up
For
that
sure.
where her mind's at, you know?
Yeah. So, Bill, number one anxiety I really think is just giving birth. How is everything going to go? I'm so afraid that it's going to hurt, all that kind of stuff. And I've heard it. I've heard it from Morgan. Like, I'm so nervous. I'm this and that. All you can do at this point, and I think all I've tried to do is be that rock and just be like, look, we're going to get through this. I'm going to be there every step of the way.
Yeah.
I'm going to, if I could take the pain away in any way, shape or form, I will.
Right.
And I think that's a big part of it too, is just, again, letting them know that you're there for that kind of support.
Yeah.
And I think that was really her point to me, was you've done a good job of calming me down.
Lindsay's big thing was when she was pregnant was she wanted me as much as possible to read to the baby, for it to hear my voice,
Okay.
just to be around and more so love on the baby
During pregnancy.
Yeah, during pregnancy. So it shows the affection to the baby, and it just shows Lindsay that affection as well, that I'm absolutely loving what's going on right now.
That's a good, now I haven't done any of that.
And it's true that, I mean, I'm sure there's studies everywhere that babies hear music, they hear voices, they know voices. Starting at how early, I'm not sure,
I
but
had no idea of those data points.
But that's something
cool
I've never thought of. I haven't done that yet.
we
would
have
you play guitar for? your little one?
100%.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
100%. I'll play guitar. I can't sing for the life of me. Well, I can sing. I'm not good at singing.
That's why just a lot of Josh
You
Groban.
mentioned music.
A lot of Josh Groban.
A lot of Josh Groban.
Is the baby going to come out thinking Josh Groban its father, though?
Is there a set of headphones you can put on the body?
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking belly headphones.
There are headphones that go on
Like
women's
just
bellies.
a big set.
You could toss those on there, yeah.
Okay.
That'd
Fair
be cool.
enough.
So you just kind of want to immerse it in the things that you already
Yeah, you
partake
almost,
in, right?
almost give it the affection that you would if it was here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Read to it, talk to it, sing to it, say goodnight, kiss. I mean, all those things show affection like it's right there.
Were you as big of a fan as Josh Groban pre-pregnancy?
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks to Corb.
Thanks to me.
Yeah, you turned me on to Josh Groban.
Really? Good job, Josh Groban. You're treating all the anxious pregnant wives all over Cleveland, Ohio.
Love it.
Okay, so we kind of looked at some of the anxieties. Is there anything else that stood out to you? Because I just want to calm every anxiety that's going through Morgan's head. Now, I will point out one thing. One of her anxieties is just around the house, because they need to sleep more. Their body is going through so many changes right now.
Right.
Like even if you can't see it, like I said, you can't see that she's actually pregnant yet.
No, energy, hormones. I mean, it's all
There's
body
so
chemistry
much.
is totally different.
Right. So she gets tired. And if there's nothing I can do in that moment, it's like, hey, go get into bed, watch some Netflix or something like that.
I got dishes. I'll clean up. I'll do.
Yeah. What
take
do you
care
want
of the
to
house
eat?
duties. You just rest.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you need something, I'll be there.
Right. Because from a guy's perspective, this is all we can do. There's so much going on within the woman's body.
Yeah, and we'll talk about it again. But Lindsay was almost bedridden for
True.
36 weeks of her pregnancy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I didn't know that.
it was hard
Yeah.
hard to see her like that. But I mean, she kicked ass and
Yeah. We'll definitely have a segment on morning sickness, because that's a huge topic. But to your
36
point,
out of 40.
that's crazy. But
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
and to your point, that's a great thing to think of, especially somebody who's going through morning sickness. They cannot get out of bed. So look, man up. It's your time, because they're going through a lot of things. If you think you're scot-free until
Oh, you're not.
the kid
Well,
comes,
I mean, that's a whole different perspective on relationship.
True.
You know,
Right.
I mean, I think you guys are in great situations, you know, and you're great partners. Corbin, I wanted to ask you.
Very lucky.
This is something on the realm of teamwork, right?
Sure.
You've been with Morgan forever, and it's
been a while.
It's been cool to see you guys evolve, right?
Yeah.
You guys got married. I was, you know, lucky enough to be in the wedding there, and
For sure.
and see you guys do that. Being married and then moving forward and having kids, did that make you more of a team?
100%. The second that she told me she was pregnant, it was like I signed a new contract with a major division. Like it was like I'm in the show now. You know, this is the contract I've been waiting for a long time. I've been through juniors, been through college hockey. I just landed big, and it's gonna be the type of relationship that I think Sidney Crosby will always have with the Penguins. I mean, I don't see him leaving Pittsburgh.
No, never.
Ever. I mean, he's just been so devoted to the town, and that's how I feel with Morgan. It's beyond that too. There's not a. I mean, it changed. It really did change things. Whether not that before a child anything would have changed anyways,
Right.
but it was just you hit a different level. It's like you kind of take a step back and go, "Oh my gosh, we made a human life.
Yeah,
and we're gonna raise a human life together." And I think a lot of guys get anxious of what am I gonna do during that time of during pregnancy and even during the fact. But I think the instinct really kicks in because I never had to think about asking Morgan how she felt in the morning. Or is like I'm never sitting at my desk going, I should go ask her if she needs some water or some food.
That's kind of why I wanted to
It's a
ask
great
that
point.
question, right?
It's a great point.
Your level of focus on the details of making sure that she's taken care of and that she just has whatever it is that she needs. Does it change really once you know that that's involved?
Yeah, I think it becomes second nature, and at least in my situation, and I'm sure Bill's too.
Like you said, routine. Because I'll go back again. 14 months. You're doing the same thing, trying to have a kid. It's very, very routine.
Yeah,
I mean, but it clicks. It clicks.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a good question, and I think it's not going to be the same for everybody. Maybe there's two people who aren't living together, or maybe they haven't hit that level yet.
Yeah.
And if you haven't, that's okay because everybody's experience is going to be different. Your experience might be different from mine.
Right.
But the least we can do is do those small things, those small tasks.
Yeah.
And I think that is step number one. And once you kind of get those things down, it's, you're kind of on cruise control. Just keep doing those things, keep being that rock and helping out as much as you can.
Be more proactive than reactive.
That's what I've been thinking about here is like, that's where the win comes in, especially with you and Morgan, right? Like you're doing these things willingly before she's really asking for them. And, for those who may not know what they need to do next is to try and attack those things or address them before they're asked of you.
Right.
And then you can really kind of win in that case.
Right.
And anybody that's in just a general relationship, I think that's a good habit to get into.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So last thoughts before we take a quick break. If you still don't understand what to do, go right now on the short little break, do some dishes, text your wife or girlfriend or partner, ask them in person, hey, anything I can do for you right now?
Starbucks, French fries, cheeseburger, anything.
Yeah.
Some
salad.
nugs.
It's so simple. It is so simple compared to what they have to go through, what they have to do. All we can do is be there for them, let them know I'm here for you, whatever you need. That's all you can do. Cool. So we're going to take a quick break here. We'll come back, talk a little bit about whiskey, and polish up the show for you. All right, welcome back to Bottles and Bottles.
You couldn't tell we're a couple more deep.
Yeah, well, we've had a couple ways. That's the whole point of the channel.
Yeah, we're a good time.
Getting together, talking about things. Yeah. So to refresh your memories after that quick break we took, This is the basics to prepare for pregnancy. We did talk about a lot of the anxieties, how you can help as an upcoming dad or partner, because we don't want to limit this, but an upcoming partner to a newborn child before the child is actually here. We're talking like first trimester, which we found out is that 1 to 13 week period, right? So you've probably just told some people maybe you're starting to get used to the idea of becoming a dad.
Yep.
What can I do for my partner that's going to help them to the best of my ability, right? So we talked about some of the anxieties, and what I really want to dig into, because we have somebody here who has 2 kids and had to go through the prep period, give me advice, knowing where I'm at right now. Look, I'm doing all the small stuff. I'm cleaning the house. I'm doing the dishes. I'm taking out the trash and mowing the lawn. I'm doing everything that I possibly can. Not that I wouldn't do those things normally,
Right.
but I want to take any extra stress off of Morgan that I can. And those things do help.
Yeah, so you're in it now, and it's like, okay, where is she going to sleep? And then the next question is, how is she going to eat? Does Morgan plan on breastfeeding? Does Morgan plan on pumping? Does Morgan plan on having formula supplemented in? There's a lot of initial questions.
Hold on. I thought all those were relatively the same. Breastfeeding, sure. The child is physically
On the breast.
Pumping. Am I needed there?
You're not needed in the moment,
No,
from what I would think.
Not
I think
so
of
much.
a well. I think of a well with that thing that you.
No, not so much. It's
Okay.
It's I've seen it in action. It's, you feel bad for your wife or partner
Is it painful?
because it's a mechanism
Okay.
using basically, it seems like a vacuum to pull and express breast milk
Okay.
out of their breasts.
Okay.
And
so
it's-
that's okay.
And
So
then
that's
that
pumping.
would go into bottles.
And that goes into bottle. Okay, so I've seen that because I've seen in other people where they have like little storage Ziploc baggy, like vacuum suctioned bags
Yes.
of milk. So that's from pumping, and
Yeah.
I'm not needed. I don't need to be.
No. So there is hand expressing, which can be helped, which you can help with.
Okay.
Okay. Whether in the hospital, the first week back at home, it's something that I took part in. It's
Okay.
I mean, you basically hand express the breast onto a spoon to feed your child, because
Wow.
it's when you get home, all you need to do is feed the baby.
Yeah.
You feed the baby, change the diaper, and let the baby sleep somewhere safely.
Yeah,
those,
you're
those
not-
are the
you're
only
not-
things you need to worry about when
You're
you get
not
home.
taking them to a sporting event or anything like that. So
Uh-uh.
okay. Before we dig too deep into that tunnel, we'll set that whole topic of breastfeeding aside for another episode, because I think that could be a full one. So you're right. So where's the baby going to sleep? How's the baby going to eat? How do we kind of approach that situation? I think are great situations. Did you do anything within, let's say, the first trimester to prepare for those particular topics?
Yeah, just a lot of research. I mean, it's researching different breast pumps. It's researching whether your insurance pays for breast pumps. It's researching different cribs, different mattresses, different crib styles, whether they're closed, whether they're latched, how many stages the crib goes into. There's a lot of research that's involved into choosing what you want and what you want to move forward with your child into the future, because there's future plans to be taken too.
Okay, so there's a lot of research involved on the physical products that you need to purchase.
Yes, absolutely, because there's a million products out there, which I'm looking to dive into some with you while
Absolutely.
you buy some of them.
Yeah, and we're going to do that, by the way. For those of you who are listening or watching on YouTube, every product that I buy, we're going to dive in and do some research on those particular products, give you some comparisons on the most popular ones, what kind of benefits they have versus their competitor, all that kind of stuff, because I'm the same way. I like to research every little thing. But again, for those of you out there who don't know what to do right now, that's a good place to start. Even just calling the insurance company.
Right.
Who's your insurance company?
There's
Some people don't even know who their insurance company is.
Yeah, I mean, so obviously there's a million apps. There's the Bump app. There's the What to Expect app. There's Lucy's List, so you can be part of email programs, which are incredible. So I mean, there's a lot of resources out there that help you kind of prep and give you side by side comparisons of products and they're kind of, hey, try this out. It's worked for us. Hopefully it works for you as well. The baby book is kind of a thing of the past, I think, with all the apps there is on the phone, with all the email programs, with all the programs you can buy kind of per stage in the baby process, say like $250 for this PDF for first trimester, kind of see where your body is, see where you're supposed to be.
Okay.
There's a lot of programs now online with experts and also with just parents saying, hey, this is what we've experienced. Hopefully our information helps.
How many times you heard in movies of a guy needing to read a baby book? The one that comes to mind is the movie called Knocked Up, where Seth Rogen is just like, he knocked this girl up and he's like, I didn't read the baby books, blah, blah, blah. Right. And then she was so happy when she found out that he did read the baby books. But you're right. The baby books are, I don't want to say a thing of the past, but we have other more convenient resources.
Yes. We're not sitting down with an encyclopedia sized book at night and big lamp on.
Right. So that's a good point. I think utilizing resources. Well, first of all, call your insurance company. Find out what your insurance company covers. What if
listeners do not have insurance?
I'll toss it out. We went through Aeroflow, AERO Flow.
Okay.
And they kind of, you plug in your insurance company and then they tell you kind of here's what you're offered on breast pumps.
Yeah.
And there's, I mean, from the starter packs to the top of the line Mercedes breast pumps.
Wow.
They'll give you, there's discounts, there's free ones.
So
there's a lot of resources out there.
Do you have to sign up through Aeroflow?
Yeah, it was a website that I found.
Okay. Free?
Yeah, free to sign up, and then you plug in your information. They contact the insurance company for you and kind of see what you get based on your insurance.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Now, Greener, you mentioned not having insurance.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody's blessed with the ability for any. I mean, if it's any insurance. I don't know if there's any resources out there. I just kind of asked the question because there's people in all walks of life.
I'm sure there are. I'm sure
there's definitely resources. I would say, again, we're back to the research phase. Like if you're trying to take the weight off of your spouse's shoulders, do some research, get online, find the local hospitals to you, and reach out to them and say, hey, I don't have insurance.
Yeah, if you're there supporting, supporting emotionally, physically, I mean, financial support is also. If you can get things for, pennies less, it's a big difference because babies are
any extra money you keep is
babies are not cheap.
Yeah,
right. So start with insurance. Find out where you can go. First of all, to have your baby, to get your appointments, all that kind of stuff. If you have insurance, find out what's covered. If you don't have insurance, reach out to local centers that will be able to tell you what the non-insured pricing is going to be, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then once you kind of get that all squared away, start digging into some products and go, okay, eat, sleep. What are they going to need? Because those, like you said, those are the biggest things.
Eat, sleep, travel, because you can't leave the hospital without a car seat.
Oh,
that's
okay.
Can't leave there without a car seat.
Really?
They don't come with one? It's not a 2-for-1
no,
kind of thing?
No, it's not like, it's not the baby's not born. They don't hand you a car seat at the hospital.
Oh, bummer. All right.
Sorry, but that's something you got to research.
Would that be kind of odd? Like you're going to the hospital and you've got all this stuff, and like when you're coming home, you're going to have a baby in it.
Yeah, no, I mean, we did trial runs in our car because
you did.
Yeah, not with a fake baby.
Well, maybe not with a fake baby, but did you hit 100 on the highway?
Nothing, but there's car seats and depending on the angle of your own seats, like there's a lot of information, and we tested out different car seats just because they didn't work with our back seats.
Good call.
So there's a lot of research to be done. And
some odd piece of information that I know, apparently you can get help at the fire department.
Yes, the fire department will
put in a car seat,
approve your car seat's position.
Really?
To make sure that it's compliant.
Yeah, you can set up an appointment with the fire department to approve your car seat's positioning in your car.
I never knew that.
I never understood how it went through the fire department. But
how in the world did you have that information?
Someone mentioned it along the way many years ago, and it just kind of stuck with me.
I'm sure the fire department has a lot of training in car seats because I mean, if there's an
absolutely.
accident, they're the first ones on the scene.
Yeah.
So they know if there's babies on board, they know what to do with car seats. They know, I'm sure they have the knowledge.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, cool.
So it's kind of like looking at it from a high level perspective, like, okay, 40,000 foot baby.
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of drilling down.
I can't conceptualize a 40,000 foot baby right now. We
Well,
are
I mean,
way
at
too
the
deep.
40,000 foot level, you're looking at some different things at different levels of,
Yes.
okay, well, we need to cover sleep. We need to cover food. We need to cover, travel,
Yeah,
like
it's
you're saying.
eat, sleep, travel.
Yeah.
Those are eat, sleep, travel, play.
Okay, play is a good
Eat,
one.
sleep, travel, play.
I was going to say poop, eat, sleep, travel, play, poop.
Yeah.
Because you got to look
Change.
at, diapers, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I think those are some really good basics to start off if you have no idea where to go right from the rip.
Mm-hmm.
So we're back to insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Do research on products.
Mm-hmm.
Get in those routines of just helping out your spouse with daily tasks. You can do it. Their body is going through so much. You may not see it, but it's going on.
Well, you're doing those things. And what you're proving is the fact that you're willing to kind of maybe go that extra mile.
100%.
But you're getting in the cadence of assisting and taking care. And
Beautiful.
doing those things early on is going to be a lot easier transition for both yourself, your partner, and that it's going to be a healthy space.
I think so.
Moving forward.
Yeah. The less you have to worry about from 30 weeks to 40 weeks is obviously ideal.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good tip.
Because the woman's starting to get, obviously the baby's starting to get larger, the woman's starting to get larger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a heavier load, no pun intended, but it's
It's a heavier load.
emotionally,
It's a watermelon.
physically, everything.
Yeah.
It's starting
Talked
to get,
about it.
everything's starting to get harder. So to have everything done as early as possible
Right.
for when the baby comes is ideal.
Yeah.
Okay. This is all kind of a full circle thing here because I think it all wraps up to itself and they're going to see that commitment level. They're going to see, I got nothing to worry about. He's just literally going the extra mile by doing all these things for me.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all busy, but a lot of these things don't take time and you have some time.
Just to make a
To get
phone
this stuff
call
done.
or something.
Right.
I mean, how do you address a big problem? The old proverb is, how do you eat an elephant? And it's one piece at a time.
Yeah.
So you break down all these kind of questions and these categories of, I'll spend 10 minutes today just to make a phone call.
Sure.
Or put in an email so someone can get back to me at some point.
Right.
And just a little bit of work every day over 9 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're going to be an expert.
Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely. Don't complicate things. Start with the source. Start with your partner. Make sure they're all good. And then just little bit by little bit, take down some of these tasks, like you said, Bill, to make sure that what week did you say? 34?
I mean, anytime after, once those last 10 weeks hit and you're counting down single digit weeks and it's getting real.
So once you get to that point, you don't want to have to deal with, oh my gosh, we need a car seat.
Right. No,
You
you want everything in the car knowing it's properly in there.
Well, I know it's not like a really sexy date idea, but something to do on a Saturday or a Sunday.
You had to buy baby.
Let's go do this.
We have Morgan and I have a date set. We're going to look at cribs. We're going to look at car seats.
That's awesome.
Perfect.
It's beautiful.
Perfect. You want mine? I'll give you a couple of mine. You want my kids? I'll toss them in your back seat. You can have them for a day too.
Is that
a little vacation.
Practice?
Yeah.
Practice.
You want to
situation.
change some diapers? You want to change a 2-year-old diaper? You want to change a 6-month-old diaper?
Something I want to cover specifically, and I think this is only because I'm fairly active. I like to be out, but I want to cover strollers.
Oh, we'll do a whole episode on strollers because the amount of customer service reps I talk to on strollers,
Really?
and the amount of Instagram messages I sent to people with certain strollers, to
Really?
get their thoughts, is endless. Strollers was my
Strollers is a big one. Morgan
big
and I just got back from vacation.
Yeah.
She saw somebody with a stroller in the airport that she had been looking at online. Beeline right off the plane to this girl.
Yeah, you talk to people.
Didn't
You
even-
see strollers, you talk to
Really?
them. You talk
Didn't
to
even
them.
tell me.
All walls come down.
Whole Foods,
Yes.
I went to people at Whole Foods.
Wow.
Yeah.
She didn't even tell me where she was going. She just beeline to this lady and
then
immediately starts talking
and
about
then you
the
drive
stroller.
and the only thing, it's like when you see a car for the first time, you keep seeing it. You see
Yeah.
a stroller, you drive through the developments, you see it there, you see it there, you see it there.
Isn't
They
that
just start
crazy?
popping up. Yeah.
That's so wild.
Yeah.
Then you know.
Really interested in that topic. Hopefully we can get to
We'll
cover
do a
it.
full episode on strollers. I'm
That
sure.
one, and you were showing me some products that I thought were really cool. I think we might have mentioned them before, but bags. Like,
Bags,
right?
yes.
I'm a big fan of that. Like
We
on the go living.
We just bought
Yeah.
a new bag.
Did you?
This week? Yeah, from
Okay.
Blackbird Fly Boutique.
Okay.
Over in Pinecrest.
Okay.
Beautiful little bag, perfect for just an out on the go type bag.
That's
That'll
awesome.
certainly, we're going to break this down in a topic because bags is a big one. I just got this whole line of products from Tactical Baby Gear. And I think they're so cool, but they're also super practical
Yeah.
too. I like to organize my things in certain ways.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely dig into
It'll
that.
be fun diving into them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would love to see the way that you organize that bag.
Oh, it's going to be wicked.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait.
For those
So-
of you that don't know Corbin, this man organizes quite well. I'm envious, but definitely will be something to look forward to in that episode.
Absolutely. I'm a very type A person, I've been told. And that's not a bad thing.
No, absolutely not.
But at any rate,
I thought that was always a type of person. What? Well, there's type A and then A type. I never.
No, type A is a
Yeah,
thing.
type A is a thing.
It's like a very ordered,
All right, whoa.
structured
I
type
think
of
we're getting
person.
off topic.
Too much
here.
small
So-
batch.
At any rate. So, look, the bottom line is, like Adam said, how to eat an elephant, one bite at a time. That's all you got to do. Keep it simple, and you'll be good to go.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's any other questions, we're going to have a post up on Instagram. If you want us to cover anything specifically, please check us out at bottles.n.bottles on Instagram. We'll also be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts,
The Tube.
Amazon Music, YouTube, and that should have all of our bases covered. So thank you so much again for joining us. Can't wait till next time. And as always, bottles up.